Hello learners, welcome to the second video for the lesson States of Matter. Let's take a quick glimpse at what we learned in the first video. Recollect that you've learned about the definition of matter. Matter is defined as anything that has mass and occupies space. You also learned about the smallest particles into which matter can be broken down into, that is atoms and molecules. Remember the properties of matter: thermal conductivity, electrical conductivity, and magnetism. You learned two new terms, that is conductors and insulators. Now let's take a look at our learning objectives for this video. In this video, we're going to learn about what causes matter to change states. In class 4, you have learned about 4 different phase changes. That is evaporation, condensation, melting, and freezing. This year you will be learning about 2 more phase changes which you will be seeing today. We'll also be learning more about properties of expansion and contraction in different states. So let's move on into some new learning. Generally, when you think about solids, you think about substances which are rigid and which do not move at all. If you look deep down into a substance, this is not the case. The atoms, and therefore the molecules, are always vibrating and rotating around the bonds that they have in their places. That is, they are either attracting each other or pushing away or repelling each other. The strength with which they do this, that is the intermolecular force, will change their arrangement and so determine the state of matter. Intermolecular forces of attraction become weaker as the molecules gain more energy and they start vibrating more vigorously. How do the molecules gain more energy? Well, they gain more energy when you provide them energy in the form of heat. So energy between the molecules can be increased to push the molecules away from each other and to reduce the intermolecular forces, or be decreased to bring the molecules closer and more tightly packed by simply changing the temperature. Heating causes the molecules to become more energetic and therefore they move apart from each other. They become loosely packed, and this causes the phase change from solid to liquid phase. If you heat the substance even further, the molecules gain even more energy and they break free from all forces of attraction which hold them close to the other molecules, and they move into open space. And this causes the substance to move into the gaseous state or the gas state. If you cool a gas, the molecules lose their energy and they start coming closer and closer to each other. At a point, they become close enough to form bonds of attraction with each other. This causes the gas to condense to form a liquid. When liquids are cooled even further, they lose even more energy and they become even more close to each other. This causes the molecules to become tightly packed to form a solid structure. Let's take a closer look. Now let's take a look at the differences between the 3 states of matter, that is the solids, liquids, and gases. So molecules in matter can be arranged in different ways, and this is what we define as the states of matter. If you look into solids, the packing in solids is that of a regular pattern. The molecules are packed in a very tight and organized manner, in a very structured way in solids. In liquids, the molecules are packed loosely, so they are slightly further apart than in solids. And in gases, the molecules are so far apart that they do not associate with each other at all. Because of their packing, solids have a definite shape which does not change easily. Liquids, on the other hand, they take the shape of the container into which they are poured. As for gas, a gas can occupy any space into which it is released. Therefore, gases do not have any definite shape. Now, what do you mean by volume? Volume is the space occupied by the molecules of a substance. If you look into solids, solids have a definite volume which does not change. That is, the space occupied by a solid will never change. But in liquids, thus the space occupied by the molecules of a liquid remain constant. Therefore, liquids have a definite volume too. Whereas in the case of gases, gases can occupy any space available to them, and therefore they do not have a definite volume. They can occupy very less space if the space available is less, as in the case of a balloon, or they can occupy a large space such as an entire room. Now let's take a look at the movement of the molecules in solids, liquids and gases. In solids, there is hardly much of a movement. The molecules simply vibrate in their places. The molecules move rapidly past each other in short distances, but they still remain associated with each other, but the bonds are somewhat weak and they keep on making and breaking bonds with each other. These liquids can be poured because of this property. Gases, the molecules move quickly in all directions, move too quickly to form any bonds with each other. Let's take a look at the forces of attraction and repulsion in solids, liquids and gases. In solids, the forces that are in play in between the molecules are those of attraction as well as repulsion, but the forces are at a balance with each other. In liquids, the force of attraction becomes weaker and the force of repulsion becomes stronger, and so the molecules move apart from each other because the molecules have more energy. In gases, there are no such forces seen because the molecules are freely moving around and are not close to each other to form any such bonds. Now let's take a look at the changing state of matter. You are already familiar with how solids change into liquid on heating. This process is called as melting. Liquids, when exposed to air for a long time or when heated further, changes into the gaseous state, and this process is known as evaporation. When gases cool down, they condense to form liquids, and when liquids are further cooled, they freeze to form solids. You must already be familiar with these four terms. We will be focusing more on two new terms, that is the phase change of a solid to the gaseous state without undergoing an intermediate liquid state. This phase change is called as sublimation. The phase change of a gas from the gaseous state to the solid state without undergoing an intermediate liquid state is known as deposition. Let's take a closer look at these two phase changes. Let's see some examples of sublimation. So, what was sublimation? Sublimation is a change of phase in which a solid directly changes into the gaseous phase without undergoing an intermediate liquid phase. A good example of sublimation is a dry freezing of food products. You must be familiar with the many hundreds of products which are available in the market, which have instructions that say that you can directly add hot water to them and keep them for 5 minutes and they are ready to eat. Foods such as freeze-dried cup noodles and even vegetables that are frozen when they are in season are quite common in the market. Let's take a closer look at freeze drying of food products. What is freeze drying? Freeze drying is a water removal process typically used to preserve perishable food materials. This is to extend the shelf life and to make the material more convenient for transport. Freeze drying works by freezing the material and then reducing the pressure and adding heat to allow the frozen water in the material to sublimate. That is, the frozen water directly changes into the water vapor stage or the gaseous state of water. Another very common example of material that sublimates is camphor. Camphor is used very commonly in worship for lighting the lamp, and also it has many medicinal properties. Camphor, you must have noticed, when burned, directly converts into the gaseous state without undergoing an intermediate liquid state. So this is also a good example of sublimation. Another common day-to-day example is the naphthalene balls, or more commonly known as the mothballs. These are placed in cupboards or other places around the house which are prone to attract insects or bugs. Naphthalene balls also sublimate gradually, which keeps away the insects from entering the particular area. The opposite of the sublimation process is known as reverse sublimation or deposition. A very common example of deposition is snow that is formed in clouds. Well, part of the clouds which are formed are due to droplets of water which solidify to form ice, and partly clouds are formed because water vapor changes directly to ice without first becoming a liquid. So deposition or reverse sublimation is a reverse process of sublimation in which a phase change occurs from the gaseous state directly to the solid state without undergoing an intermediate liquid state. Another example of water depositing is seen in frost. Well, frost is not commonly seen in temperate and equatorial countries like India, but in countries which are closer to the poles, frost is very common. Frost happens when water vapor from humid winter air deposits directly into a solid crystalline pattern on a window, a leaf, or any object which is extremely cold. So the deposition of water vapor into these ice crystals known as frost is also an example of reverse sublimation or deposition. Common example of sublimation and deposition is that of dry ice. Have you heard of dry ice? Dry ice is very commonly used in drama or theater to create this fog effect. Dry ice, when it comes into contact with water or when simply kept outside, will sublimate, that is, will change from the solid state to the gaseous state. What is dry ice made of? Dry ice is nothing but solidified carbon dioxide. Liquid carbon dioxide, when released from extremely high pressure, such as from inside a fire extinguisher, deposits to form dry ice. Dry ice is also manufactured industrially because of its various uses. So, deposition of dry ice happens when carbon dioxide is released from a liquefied state in a high pressure to the normal atmospheric pressure. Now let us move on to learn about the property of expansion and contraction of matter. The figures given below is a demonstration of a ball and ring experiment. A ball as well as a ring are made up of metal. At normal temperature, the ball would easily pass through the ring. But if you heat the ball gets stuck and does not pass through the ring. Why does this happen? The increase in size of an object on heating is called expansion. Now, if you want the ball to go through the ring once again, there are two ways to do it. One, you can simply heat the ring to expand the ring and the ball will go through it. Or you can wait for the ball to cool down and then it would pass through the ring. And this is an example of the decrease in size of an object on cooling, which is called as contraction. Now why do expansion and contraction happen? Like you must already have guessed, substances expand or get bigger when they are heated up. The particles stay the same, that is the number of particles, and their size remains the same. But as you heat up a substance, the particles or their molecules gain more energy and start to move and spread out more. The substances contract or get smaller when they cool down. That is, they have less energy, so they move less, and they move closer together, so they take up less room or they contract. Now, do you think expansion and contraction can happen in all three states of matter, solids, liquids, and gases? Let's see some examples. You could try this experiment. Attach a balloon by its mouth to a bottle and then place the bottle under some heat. You will see that the balloon automatically blows up or becomes bigger. This is because the gas inside the bottle gets heated up, and when gas heats up, it expands. The molecules spread out to find more space, and this causes the balloon to become bigger in size. What about in the case of liquids? Have you observed water being boiled in a vessel over a stove? The vessel is never completely filled. This is because your mother knows that the water, when it begins to boil, would expand and overflow from the vessel. Expansion and contraction of solids are to be considered for practical application everywhere. For example, when electric cables are laid out, they are never tied out too tightly. Could you guess why? Well, this is because in winters these cables would contract and pull against each other, causing them to snap or break. Therefore, they are left sagging so that they have space for contraction. In summers, they would expand, causing them to sag even more. You can see many such examples if you look around you, in the construction of bridges, in the construction of concrete slabs, etc. You could also observe these changes around you if you look at how wooden doors become tighter during the summer and become looser during winters. Now let's take a quick recap of everything we have learned so far. We have learned about the arrangement of molecules in solids, liquids, and gases. All the properties seen in solids, liquids, and gases come as a result of the arrangement of the molecules in them. In solids, the molecules are tightly packed because of strong intermolecular forces of attraction and repulsion. In liquids, the molecules are loosely packed due to weak intermolecular forces of attraction and stronger intermolecular forces of repulsion. In gases, the molecules are freely moving and they do not have any force of attraction between them. Remember the phase changes? The phase change from solid to liquid is called as melting. From liquid to solid is known as freezing or solidification. From liquid to a gas is known as evaporation or boiling. From gas to a liquid is known as condensation. From solid to a gas is known as sublimation. And from a gas to a solid is known as deposition or reverse sublimation. We also learned about the property of expansion of matter. The more heat energy a substance receives, the more its molecules spread out. This is called as expansion of matter. The cooler a substance is made, the more tightly its molecules pack. This is called as contraction of matter. So that's it for this video. I will see you again in the next video. Till then, you remain cool and keep learning.